Welcome everyone. Before we dive in, be sure to check our previous videos, as well as drop your thoughts, feelings, and lessons in the comments. Like the video and subscribe so you never miss stories like this. Let's get into it. Andre Miller first saw Kiera Jackson in a crowded Atlanta grocery store, balancing a basket on one hip and her little girl on the other. The child, a tiny thing with big curious eyes and colorful barrettes, was crying because they had run out her favorite cereal. Kiera's smile was exhausted but gentle as she soothed her daughter. When Andre, tall and soft-spoken, offered the last box from his cart, Kiera's eyes met his. Something warm passed between them, quiet and unexpected, like a door opening where he had only seen walls. They kept bumping into each other after that, at the same store at the park, once at the library children's section. Each time, Maya, her daughter, grew more comfortable around Andre. He started keeping fruit snacks in his pocket just in case he saw her, laughing when she called him the snack man. Kiera learned that Andre worked in IT for a local hospital, loved jazz, and cared for his aging father. Andre learned Kiera was a nurse, newly single, doing her best to raise Maya alone after a painful breakup. Their first official date was simple: burgers and milkshakes at a small diner near the hospital. Kiera was nervous, fidgeting with her straw, worried about bringing someone into her daughter's life. Andre sensed her fear and did not push. He listened more than he spoke, asking about her dreams instead of her wounds. When she talked about wanting to go back to school, to travel, to show Maya the world, he admired the fire in her. By the end of the night, Kiera felt seen in a way she had not felt in years. Andre fell in love slowly, then all at once. He loved how Kiera laughed with her whole body, how she kissed Maya's forehead before leaving any room, how she worked long shifts and still found energy to read bedtime stories. He saw her struggles up close: overdue bills, an unreliable babysitter, the weight of doing everything alone. Instead of running, he stepped closer. He fixed small things around her apartment, picked up groceries, and learned how Maya liked her grilled cheese cut. Kiera, wary at first, began to lean into the safety he offered. Maya adored him. She started waiting at the window when Kiera said Andre was coming over, running to the door when she heard his knock. "Dre, look," she would yell, waving crayon drawings at his face. He attended dance recitals, parent nights, and school fairs, blending into their lives so naturally that teachers assumed he was Maya's father. One night, when Maya was half asleep on the couch, she mumbled, "Daddy, carry me." Andre froze, eyes stinging. He picked her up gently, heart pounding, knowing those words were both a blessing and a responsibility. That moment changed everything. Later, in the kitchen, Andre told Kiera what Maya had said. Kiera's eyes filled with tears. "I never wanted to force that title on anyone," she whispered, "but she chose you herself." Andre took her hands, steady and sure. "I choose her too," he replied. He was not just dating Kiera anymore. He was choosing a family. From then on, he moved with even more intention, saving money, cutting back on nights out, planning for a future that now included tiny socks, spelling tests, and family vacations. When Andre proposed, he did it on a quiet Sunday afternoon. They were at the park where they first played together as a trio. Maya chased bubbles on the grass, while Andre pretended to record her with his phone. Suddenly, he called her over and handed her a small box. "Give this to Mommy," he said, winking. Maya ran to Kiera, who knelt to her daughter's height. When she opened the box and saw the ring, her hands flew to her mouth. Andre dropped to one knee. "Kiera, will you marry me and officially let me be Maya's father?" Tears streamed down Kiera's face as she nodded. "Yes," she choked out. Maya clapped and shouted, "We getting married?" A few months later, they had a small, beautiful wedding. Andre cried watching Maya walk down the aisle tossing petals, her tiny dress matching Kiera's gown. When the officiant asked if he promised to love and protect not only Kiera but Maya as well, Andre's "I do" came out firm and full. It was more than romance. It was a vow to a child who had already opened his heart wider than he thought possible. Married life brought its own rhythm. Mornings were filled with cereal and missing socks, evenings with homework and animated movies. Andre learned how to do hair, awkwardly at first, Then with growing skill, watching tutorials so he could help with Maya's braids when Kiera worked nights. They took family photos, visited Andre's father together, and built routines that made Maya feel secure. Kiera occasionally complained about being tired or wanting more, but Andre thought it was normal. He wanted to give her the world, even if it meant sacrificing parts of his own comfort. Over time, though, Kiera's restlessness grew sharper. She started talking more about wanting to live abroad, to escape the same old Atlanta routine. She followed travel bloggers and luxury influencers online, sighing at pictures of beaches and fancy rooftop dinners. Andre listened, trying not to feel inadequate. "We can plan a trip," he said. "Maybe next year, once we save up." Kiera frowned. "You always say later," she replied. "I am tired of later." Her words left a bruise on his spirit, even though he did not know what to do differently. One day, Kiera came home buzzing with excitement. "Babe, you will not believe this," she said, waving a printed email. A supposedly prestigious private hospital in London, she claimed, was recruiting nurses for a high-paying, temporary contract. They offered housing, travel stipends, and experience that could change her career. Andre felt his stomach twist. "London," he repeated. "That is another country, Kiera. For how long?" She shrugged, almost casually. 6 months, maybe a year. "But think about the money. Think about the opportunities one could bring back to us." Andre's first instinct was to say no, to protect their fragile balance. But Kiera framed it as a sacrifice for their family. She talked about paying off debts, saving for a house, giving Maya a better future. "You always say you want to support my dreams," she said softly. "This is my chance. Do you really want to hold me back?" The guilt hit hard. Andre imagined being the reason she resented her life. He stayed up that night, staring at the ceiling, weighing his fear against her pleading eyes and the child sleeping in the next room. Over the following weeks, Kiera built her narrative carefully. She told friends and family about the once-in-a-lifetime job abroad, about how brave she was for leaving her comfort zone. At church, people hugged her and said they were proud. She posted screenshots of the offer on social media, though Andre never saw logos clearly enough to verify them. Whenever he hesitated, she reminded him of the financial benefits. When he worried about her being away from Maya, she sighed. "You are her father," she said. "You can handle it. It is just temporary." The day she left, the airport felt colder than usual. Maya clung to Kiera's leg, sobbing. "Mommy, do not go," she cried. Kiera knelt, hugging her briefly but already glancing at her phone. "Mommy is going to work so you can have a better life," she said. "Be a big girl for Daddy, okay?" Her voice carried more impatience than tenderness. Andre watched, heart aching. When Kiera finally walked through security, she waved once, then disappeared. Andre held Maya, who pressed her wet face into his chest, whispering, "Will Mommy come back soon?" At first, Kiera called frequently. Video chats showed her in stylish apartments with city views in the background. She talked about busy shifts, demanding supervisors, and exciting co-workers. Andre noticed she always seemed dressed up, even after work. Sometimes, he could not hear hospital noises, just music and laughter. When he asked about it, she said, "We have to blow off steam somehow. Do not start, Andre." Her time for Maya slowly shrank. Short calls, rushed goodnights. Andre filled the gaps, packing lunches, comforting nightmares, attending parent-teacher conferences alone. As months passed, cracks appeared. Kiera stopped sending money, offering vague excuses about delays in payroll and unexpected expenses. She dodged questions about when her contract would end. Once, during a video call, Andre heard a man's voice in the background, speaking casually about dinner reservations. Kiera quickly muted the call, then came back with a forced smile. "Sorry, noisy neighbors," she said, too quickly. Andre's chest tightened, but he swallowed his questions, not wanting to start another argument that might push her further away. One night, Maya came home from school clutching a tablet. "Daddy, look," she said. A classmate had shown her Kiera's social media. There, Kiera posed in designer dresses, clinking glasses in fancy restaurants. strolling along European streets with shopping bags. In one photo, a tall, stylish man had his arm around her waist. The caption read, "New city, new experiences, same queen energy." There was no mention of a husband or child. Andre's hand shook as he scrolled through the photos, his world tilting while Maya watched his face carefully. He confronted Kiera during their next call. "Who is he?" Andre asked, holding his phone up to show her the photos. Kiera sighed dramatically. "You are really stalking my page now," she said. "He is just a friend." Andre's voice cracked. "You are living like you are single, Kiera. No ring. No mention of our daughter. You stop sending money. You barely call. Are you even working at a hospital?" For a moment, something like guilt flashed across her face. Then she hardened. "I do not have to explain every detail of my life to you." Pain gave way to clarity. Andre began researching the hospital she claimed to work for, contacting numbers and emails from the supposed offer. None of them checked out. It became clear the job had been a story, a cover for something else. When he pressed her again, Kiera snapped. "Fine," she said. "Yes, I met someone. He has connections. He introduced me to people I would never meet back home. I am building a better life. You and Maya will be fine. You're always fine." Her casual dismissal of her own childhood Andre like a punch. "Maya cries for you at night," he said, voice breaking. "She asks if she did something wrong. She thinks she was not good enough for you to stay." Kiera rolled her eyes. "Do not put that on me," she replied. "Kids are resilient. She will adjust. I cannot sacrifice my future because you want some picture-perfect family." Andre stared at the woman he once believed would never abandon her child. "You already sacrificed something," he said quietly. "You just did not realize it yet." She scoffed and ended the call. Weeks passed with no contact. Andre made a decision. He stopped chasing Kiera's attention and focused entirely on Maya. He started legal paperwork to secure guardianship, documenting missed calls, broken promises, and lack of financial support. Therapy sessions helped Maya process her confusion and pain. At night, Andre lay awake, grieving not just his marriage, but the mother Maya had lost. He tried to shield his daughter from the worst of it, telling her, "Mommy is busy," instead of "Mommy chose somewhere else." Still, the hurt slipped through the cracks, no matter how hard he tried to patch them. Months later, the call came unexpectedly. It was from a number Andre did not recognize, with an unfamiliar international code. When he answered, a stern voice introduced itself as an officer from a foreign police department. They were looking for next of kin for Kiera Jackson. Andre's heart dropped. Images of accidents in hospitals flooded his mind. But the officer's words went in a different direction. They informed him Kiera had been arrested alongside her partner, a businessman involved in fraudulent investments, money laundering, and identity theft. Kiera was being charged as an accomplice. Andre felt sick. The officer explained that Kiera had signed documents, allowed accounts in her name to be used, and enjoyed the benefits of stolen money. Whether she understood the full scope or not, the law saw her as entwined with her lover's crimes. She was facing a long sentence. "She listed you as an emergency contact," the officer said. "She is asking to speak with you." Andre hesitated, then agreed. When Kiera's voice came through, it was trembling and small, stripped of its former arrogance. "Andre," she whispered, "please tell me you answered." He listened as she cried, blaming bad judgment, claiming she thought the money was legitimate, insisting she never meant for things to go this far. But beneath her fear, there was finally a flicker of something that had been missing before, real remorse. "I messed everything up," she sobbed. "I left you. I left Maya. I chased a life that was not real, and now I might spend years in here. Please do not let her hate me forever." Andre closed his eyes, feeling the weight of her words settle on the ruins of their past. "Kiera," he said gently, "I cannot control how Maya feels when she is old enough to understand, but I can make sure she is safe. I can make sure she knows she is loved. That is what I've been doing while you were gone." She cried harder, asking about Maya's favorite shows, her height, her laugh. Andre answered, tears sliding down his own face, because despite everything, He remembered the woman who once held their daughter through fevers and first steps. But he also knew that love did not erase consequences, and regret did not rewrite history. Over the next months, letters arrived from Kiera, pages filled with apologies, explanations, and memories. She wrote about how the rich man had dazzled her with luxury, how he promised to help her escape her ordinary life. She confessed that she had lied about the job because she was afraid Andre would never agree to her leaving otherwise. "I told myself I would bring money back to you and Maya," she wrote. "But somewhere along the line, I stopped looking back at all." Now, in a concrete cell, she had nothing but time to look back. Andre read some of the letters, keeping them in a box he did not open when Maya was around. He told his daughter only that Mommy had gotten into trouble and had to stay far away for a long time. When Maya asked if it was her fault, Andre shook his head firmly. "None of this is your fault," he said. "You were always enough. Your mother made grown-up choices that had nothing to do with you." He watched the relief and lingering hurt war in her eyes, wishing he could shield her from every shard of pain. Slowly, Andre and Maya built a life that was theirs alone. He officially adopted her, signing papers that made what their hearts already knew legal and permanent. They created new traditions: pancake Saturdays, fall hikes, movie marathons on rainy days. Andre met with a support group for single parents, finding solidarity in their stories. He did not rush into dating again. His first priority was healing, for himself and for the little girl who still sometimes woke up calling for a mother who could not come. In quiet moments, he prayed for Kiera's soul, too. Years later, when Maya was old enough to ask real questions, Andre told her the truth in gentle doses. He let her read a few of Kiera's letters, the ones that showed remorse without dragging her into graphic details. Maya cried and wrote back, sending one letter that said, "I am angry and I am sad, but I am still your daughter. I just cannot visit yet." Kiera replied with gratitude and sorrow, knowing the distance she had created could not be bridged simply by wanting it to be. Some doors, once slammed shut, reopened only halfway. Andre never forgot the early days, the grocery store smiles, the park laughter, the vows they once meant. But he refused to let the ending define his entire story. His love for Maya became the anchor that kept him from drifting into bitterness. Kiera, behind bars in a foreign country, lived with the ache of what she had thrown away. A faithful husband, a child who had adored her, a life that was not glamorous but was real. By the time her regret arrived, it could not undo the damage. Andre and Maya had moved forward, scarred, stronger, and still capable of love. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and share this video with your friends. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a powerful story drop.